Assalamu alaikum. Bushra Umer from Presenter Teams. SBA is here, and today we are going to do the comparative analysis between bio-inspired plastics and traditional plastic, or we can say the petroleum-based plastics. This study is based on research that was conducted in China. And what is mean by bio-inspired? So, bio-inspiration means to get inspired or motivated by a certain biological object or a biological phenomena and copy its any specific feature like its mechanical property, any structural property, or any other property to make a new product. So we are going to learn that which bio inspiration is used to make the plastic and why it is better than the traditional plastics. So let's see. So here are the few objectives of the study that our study is representing a sustainable approach to make plastic, and it is important to consider the sustainable approaches because when we are manufacturing a new product, it is important that it should have a simple apparatus and simple chemicals or chemicals that are not much harmful to the environment. And to understand the importance of biomimicry, now what is biomimicry? Mimicry or mimic is to copy the action of something. So biomimicry is, as I said earlier, that bio inspiration is the force that drives to make or mimic the particular object. So biomimicry is copying certain activity of a biological product or biological organism, living organism. And to delve deeper into the charms of nanotechnology is a rising technology and it is very fascinating. So by this study, we will get this that how nanotechnology is applying. And the next is to understand best ways to use the biological resources because it is important to consider that which biological resource you are going to use, whether it is plant, whether it is a particular part of the plant, or we are going to use some bacteria or anything. So it is very important to consider that particular thing, and a lot of research is required to determine the specific biological material that has been going to use in a particular study. We're going to learn the comparative analysis. We are discussing few terms here, which are the material that is being used in the research and the apparatus that is used to make the bio-inspired plastic, or we can say a replacement of plastic. So number one is CNF or cellulose nanofibers. Cellulose, as we all know, that it is the important structural component of the plant. And why it is called nanofibers? Because their thinness is about 10 exponent 9. That's why they are considered as nanofibers or nanobiomaterial. So what are they? They can be obtained from plants, as I discussed earlier, that cellulose is the structural component of many plants and also found in many bacteria. And they have abundant hydroxyl and carboxyl groups. Now, why the bonding between hydroxyl and carboxyl group is making it an ideal biopolymer because the bonding is very stable. They don't break on applying heat, high amount of heat. We're going to learn that thing too. So this bonding make cellulose nanofibers an excellent and stable biomaterial for the synthesis of plastic especially. So due to this bonding, it possesses high strength and it is very, we can say structurally very good and heat resistive too. Because the high amount of heat when applied to the cellulose nanofibers based structure, so the bonding resist that heat. So this is an advantage of cellulose nanofibers. The next one is mica, and we use this substance in electronics and cosmetics, and this is something which is going to biomimic the action of biomimic action for the production of plastic. Now, the next point is it is coated with titanium dioxide nanograins to give the biomimetic effect as that of nacre and beautiful color. Now, this is the word nacre is the main source of bioinspiration. Nacre is found in the internal lining of the shell of pearl oysters, and it possesses excellent mechanical properties. It's very hard and very resistive to cracks and damaging. So that's why this is the bio inspiration for the making of bio inspired plastics. And there is another point which says that uh, this whole thing, titanium dioxide mica, is pre-treated by APTIS. APTIS is 3-aminopropyl triethoxysilane to facilitate interfacial interaction between the two substances. Now, what is the meaning of pre-treatment? Basically, when we are going to react the CNF and titanium dioxide mica. So we are going to treat it because the chemical treatment enables the bonding or covalent bonding between the two substances, and interfacial interactions basically representing that bonding, that titanium dioxide and the mica should react with each other and form stable bonds, and also they have to react with the covalent bond environment of the CNF in order to form a very stable and you can say mechanically very strong bioplastic. And combination of titanium dioxide and mica is also used to give beautiful colors to the plastic that we are going to make. So these are two important terminologies, and the next one is the third thing is directional deforming assembly, and we are going to learn in detail that what is this. For now, we are going to learn that it is the simplest and cost-effective method for the production of replacement of plastics, bioplastic. And here I mentioned a term brick and mortar. As we know that when buildings are formed, the bricks are not placed side by side. There's a certain gap between them, and that gap is known as mortar, in which cement is filled in order to give that brick or that wall or that building stability. So this phenomena is applied when we are making the bioplastics. And in this experiment, we are using the brick as we are going to use titanium dioxide mica as brick and CNF or cellulose nanofibers as mortar. So this assembly ensures that cellulose nanofibers do not deform or do not change their shape uh, in a way that it would destroy the structure of plastic. And the next thing is calcium cross-linking. As we know that calcium is required by our bones to get strength. So similarly is applied to this case, and calcium cross-linking help polymer like cellulose nanofiber and mica by the means of covalent bond. It help in the strengthening of covalent bond, just like calcium help us to strengthen our bones. And this step aid in the toughness and stability. And obviously when bonding is strong, toughness automatically come to that bioplastic. So it is important to consider the stiffness while making synthetically bioplastic or anything like this. This is our directional deforming assembly. We know that we learned about cellulose nanofibers and all this thing. Basically, mica is the substance which is coated by titanium dioxide in order to biomimic the effect of nacre. And the next step is calcium cross-linking, which is the bonding between the two. As you see, there are bonds formed between this, and stacking occurs. Stacking is like making the bundles of thing in an order arrangement, like putting them one after another in top to bottom or bottom to top approach. then a certain kind of pressure applied in order to give the brick and mortar structure to the plastic. Why we are considering only the brick and mortar structure? Because this structure ensures a good mechanical property or mechanical structure and high heat resistivity. And these two properties are important in considering the replacement of bioplastic as worthy experiment. And this is the main part of experiment, which is the comparative analysis. And this comparison is brought by these three properties. So let's see one by one, what are they? The first point, which is composition. So traditional plastics consist of certain metals like lead, arsenic, etc., which are extremely harmful for the animals and plants and also humans. And next is polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons. These are the main component of petroleum based plastics, and they are found naturally in coal and crude oil. And the next is polyethylene. This is also used mostly in the household plastic objects, and when it is absorbed or inhaled, it can produce drastic effect on the health. It can cause irritation to the skin, or if inhaled, it can cause some other health complications. And the last one is polypropylene contain phthalates. Now, phthalates are the compounds which induce hormonal changes inside human beings. So, and on the other hand, the bio-inspired plastic can be made by using plant, which we are doing in this experiment. And next is bacteria-based bioplastic. We are using particularly these two strains of bacteria because it is easy to extract that particular material which is required for the formation of bioplastic and agar. The formation of plastic from agar is under research because agar can lose its shape or it can become slimy. So strength is low basically. So that's why researches are being conducted on it to use it as a good source of bioplastic, but for now it's not commonly used. So this is the important part, which is mechanical property. So we are going to compare on the basis of flexural strength, which is when some kind of force or pressure is applied to plastic or any structure. It causes material to either bend or resist that bending, so without breaking it. So when some kind of pressure is applied or force is applied, the traditional plastics show the flexural strength of 175 megapascals, which is low. And the bio-inspired plastic is when it is not chemically treated, the value are certain low. And we learned that why we are doing the chemical treatment in order to give a strength to the structure that we are going to make. And that's why this chemical, after the chemical treatment, we use APTES for this, APTES. So the strength increase to 281 megapascal, which is greatest, and we can say that it is highest than all of the traditional plastics. This is another important thing, which is another important property, which is thermal property. And we are learning it on the two bases, structural changes on applying different temperatures, right? So I have mentioned the name of the other plastics that are being used in this experiment. And we can observe that at 25 degrees Celsius and at 250 degrees Celsius, there is a notable change in the structure of all the things that are used. And we can see that this work means the bioplastic or bio replacement of plastic is same at the 25 degrees Celsius and also at the 250 degrees Celsius. So this is how the bioplastics work. and resist the heat, and we have discussed that why they are such a good component to resist the heat. So the next thing is this is thermal conductivity is connected with the previous one, and according to this graph, as we can see that these arrow bars representing the standard deviation, and the values or the standard deviation is showing that we can say that the value of this work or bioplastic can resist the heat up to 0.6 volt per meter per Kelvin, and this is how the working is of this bioplastic is done, and the values for other type of plastics are as low as zero point 0.3 or 0.1, we can say this. So this is how the resistivity or thermal conductivity of bioplastic is very, very high. The conclusion, and we see that how effectively we have learned the basic concepts about the formation of bio-inspired material and how the property that should be present in them are compared with the other type of plastics, and it is important to degrade or find the alternative of the plastic. So this is the main purpose of this study, and the references of the presentation. And here is the awareness message that keep calm and find plastic alternatives, because they are very much drastic for our environment and causing serious health complication to all life forms that are existing on the earth. So we are hopeful that we will find more plastic alternatives in the future by using latest and cost-effective technologies. Thank you so much for listening. That's it for today.